Planet Dolan. Oi, Danger Dolan. Gooby and I saw The Disaster Artist, which is a biographical film based on a book based on the film The Room, which is known as the best, worst movie ever. And it is a kind of a requirement to watch that before you watch this. I've seen it in bits and pieces over the years, but Gooby and I sat down and watched the whole thing the day before we saw Disaster Artist, and I appreciate that we did. Assuming you can tolerate the awkward, horrible sex scenes, of which go on forever, and there are many. When we went, it was a small theater, but it was packed. Unlike Jungle with Daniel Radcliffe, this one, same size cinema, but every seat was filled. Let me just say up front, this is a pretty amazing movie. It's fucking hilarious. I was expecting another shitty stoner comedy from Franco and Seth Rogen like you would all expect, but it's pretty much the polar opposite. It's actually really heartfelt, and the comedy just comes from the stories on the set of what happened on this terrible movie, and understanding the main character, Tommy Wiseau, who is also the writer and director of The Room.
It's not going to happen for you. Not in a million years.
But after that? This town, Greg. They don't want me.
Wish we could just make our own movie.
And James Franco portrays Tommy and absolutely nails it, which is weird because every time before this, every time I thought about Franco, I just see him in my mind's eye eating pie. Thanks for that, Spider-Man. But he was totally unrecognizable in this role. And I'm not going to say much more. I just thought this movie was incredible. I've watched it 100 more times. It was that good. It's kind of a requirement to watch The Room and this now. They're kind of one package. So when we saw the screening, Greg Sestero, who wrote the book and is also a co-star on The Room, he stayed for a live Q&A at the end, which was actually quite fascinating. Especially because there are events in the film, you know, the premiere of The Room where they had a big audience and they reacted in one way, but then Greg explained, actually no, in real life, you know, they just kind of all started to walk out and they were just mumbling under their breath how bad it was. Whereas they kind of compressed events in the film to make it really concise. He also explained that when they made this film, they just kind of wanted to show what happened to Tommy Wiseau instead of making fun of him. Because you end up feeling sorry for the guy when you're watching the film, and it really succeeded at that. It kind of felt more like an underdog story for like every actor or writer or filmmaker out in the industry who just can't get a head start because they just don't know the right people. The only difference between most people and Tommy is that Tommy's batshit crazy. It just makes him fascinating.
Cut? Why you cut, Sandy? This is great. This is real acting.
If you're gonna writhe around with the dress, maybe do it before you shoot yourself in the head and blow your brains out.
I disagree.
So guys, my official rating system is how many times I checked my watch throughout the film. Checked it 0 times, obviously. You should definitely check it out if you're even remotely interested in the original film, The Room. If you want to understand how the fuck The Room happened, you should probably watch this. Although there are still questions like, where did Tommy get the money to make the film? Everyone in the audience was pissing themselves. You'll love this.